Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. I have a special guest with me here, Lisa Song Sutton, who is a successful businesswoman and entrepreneur. She's running for a congressional seat in the 4th District of Nevada, and she's also a crypto investor. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Lisa, I think you've piqued the interest of many folks within the crypto industry because they've learned about your investments as well as potentially getting this political seat, which is a hot topic now. Trying to get more folks on board, more political advocates of cryptocurrencies. So before we go into all the details, maybe you can give us a bit of background about yourself. What's Lisa about? What school did you go to? Things along those lines.
Sure. So I was born in Seoul, South Korea, and then my family and I we moved to Arizona. My mother's from South Korea originally, and my father's American. And so I grew up in a rural part of southeastern Arizona, a small town called Sierra Vista. It's right next to an Army intelligence base there called Fort Huachuca, and my father worked for the DoD there. And so, yeah, I grew up there, a small, quiet town. I went to college at the University of Arizona, and then I went to grad school at the University of Miami. And then I moved to Las Vegas in 2010. Started working for a law firm. I started my career in business litigation, and then created businesses of my own. So City Cupcakes, I started in 2012. We make alcohol-infused cupcakes. It's perfect for Vegas. And after that, I realized, wow, I could have my own company as long as I team up with the operations partner and we put together great teams and great processes and great systems. And that's what I've been able to do across a couple different industries. I'm a big fan of diversifying your portfolio, diversify your business interests, and I've luckily been able to do that with some really great partners.
Very cool. So how did you first learn about cryptocurrencies? What was your first exposure?
It was actually when I was in grad school. So this was like 2009, right? I had heard a little bit about it. I wish I would have gotten more involved back then, of course, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely did not buy back then, but I remember hearing about it. So then fast forward when it started to become more mainstream, right? And you started hearing more about it in a significant, meaningful way, 2015, 2016, 2017. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I remember classmates talking about it. And so then I started doing my own research and reaching out to people.
Very cool. And what's interesting that I read about, with you having your own business, City Cupcakes, and I certainly have to try it next time I'm out in
Oh
Vegas.
yeah, let me know.
I love that you're putting your money where your mouth is, so to speak, because your business accepts Bitcoin as payment, correct?
Yes, we were actually one of the first bakeries to accept Bitcoin back in 2017 in Southern Nevada, and that really came about because the state legislature, the state of Nevada, said, "Hey, if you as a business want to accept cryptocurrency, we will not tax it with sales tax. It will be tax exempt." And so we were like, "That's pretty cool." And so we started exploring around. Okay, well, what's next steps? Like, how do we actually implement this? We called the attorney general's office and they weren't sure like what next steps were. And, so I just thought it was such an interesting lesson in, hey, so government gives us these like rules and regulations, right? But then as a small business owner, how do you execute that? And sometimes there's a lack of guidance on the back end. And so we did what business owners do, which is, kind of try to make up the rules as you go to figure it out, right? And that's what we did. We downloaded, remember when Airbitz? Airbitz was a wallet.
Yep.
And so we downloaded Airbitz wallet and put that up as our address to accept crypto for the bakery.
Very cool. And is it just Bitcoin, or are there other cryptos that you also accept?
Just Bitcoin.
Got it. Got it. And I've also read that you are an investor in Bitcoin ATMs. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes. So, once I started doing more research and started kind of just moving around the community a little bit, I got a chance to get connected with some people who had started a fund, and they were just looking for angel investors at the time. They put together a fund that would go towards assisting companies that were getting into the ATM space. And so back when I invested, there were like, I think just under 60 ATMs throughout all of Southern Nevada, like Las Vegas. It was like 58 ATMs, I think. Now, fast forward, there are over like 120.
Wow.
So it's definitely, it's something that we've seen grow. And, it's just been cool to be part of it. It's a very, very small part of my portfolio, but I wanted to still support, and it's been cool to see it grow.
I love that. And of course, with you running for the candidate for Congress, you are also an advocate of crypto in general and looking to influence some of the policies, it seems like. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Absolutely. Not only as a proponent of crypto, but just as a proponent of blockchain, right? For me, I think it's very important that, we have elected officials that are in office that understand modern business, understand modern technology, and if they don't understand it, are at least willing to sit down and learn about it, right? Surround yourself with people who know more about it than you do, so that way you can make informed decisions and an educated decision around it. I just spoke about this actually at CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. I was on a panel about, blockchain and regulation, and I said, look, we all saw the Facebook hearings, the congressional hearings on Facebook and Zuckerberg. Like, you had people across both sides of the aisle that were just clueless on certain items that people use every single day as part of like modern business and modern technology. And so we need our government to look more like America, and that includes having real business owners who have business experience, entrepreneurship experience, and are supportive of modern business and modern technology like blockchain.
That absolutely makes sense, and I'm certainly in agreement with you there. I've also read that you are part of some committees with folks like Tom Emmer, Darren Soda, if I'm not mistaken. I know both of who are crypto advocates. Maybe you can take us a bit behind the curtain. Are they getting frustrated with the rest of their constituents and who are not picking this up? And it seems like the U.S. is lagging behind because a lot of the businesses have moved overseas because they don't have the regulatory clarity. But any light you can shed there, if you can?
Sure. I mean, I certainly can't speak to, their relationship with their constituents, but what's really exciting is the fact that they spearhead the blockchain committee and a blockchain caucus, and they are at the forefront of supporting modern business, modern technology, and realizing that, technology like blockchain, that is future for American businesses. How is that going to be implemented? How do we learn to work with it for the everyday American? And I think it's fantastic that these congressional representatives are actually at the forefront of leading that. And, they've made it clear that that's something that's important to them. It's initiatives that they're putting forward, and it's something that they're putting their time, energy, and resources behind.
Awesome. That is great to hear. So I thought I read a quote, I think it was in the CoinDesk interview, where you mentioned that, if you were to get elected here, one of the things you want to do or on your radar is to talk to Trump about this, about President Trump, of course, crypto and digital assets. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I would love the chance to sit down with the president and have a conversation around blockchain and cryptocurrency, and how, especially for people like myself who are under 40, as business owners, what does that look like in modern business, right? I would welcome the opportunity to do that, and certainly, I want to be clear. I'm no blockchain expert, no crypto expert, but I just understand from a small business point of view that there are really unique technologies out there that we need to be not only exploring, but also advocating for usage to the American business owner, to the everyday American. So that way we can all just continue to grow and advance and help our communities too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think many of us are still learning, but there was a point in time when the internet was new to everyone, and we had to learn it, right?
Email was new. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, it was the dial-up phase. Everybody's still trying to figure out, but the potential to improve transactions and trust, and I think that's what the blockchain is going to do. It's there, right? Awesome. So I want to preface this question by saying this is not financial or investment advice, but what's in your crypto portfolio, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, so I'm invested in Bitcoin, in Ethereum, and Litecoin.
Awesome. Any plans to invest in any others, or that's it for now?
Well, actually, after my CES panel, there was a woman that was on the panel that works with Ripple, and she was just so knowledgeable, she was great. And so it really encouraged me to, look more into that and see if there's an opportunity there. So that one's on my radar. Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, they are certainly doing some big things, especially with MoneyGram, with the recent partial acquisition, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So certainly would encourage you to do that. And I know a lot of the XRP community is probably like, yeah, Lisa, you should check out XRP. Awesome. And of course, once again, not financial or investment advice, but where do you personally see the crypto market and even the blockchain industry within the next few years or so?
I'm very bullish on it just because, I mean, I encounter people, I think, nearly on a weekly basis, when I'm out talking to voters, talking to constituents, and especially after, my panel in CES and some coverage we got in CoinDesk, I have people who are totally new to blockchain and to crypto coming up and asking me about it, right? They're like, well, what is it? Can you tell me more about it? And that's what it takes, right? It takes education. It takes sharing that information and saying, hey, like, these are the experiences I've had with it. You should do your own research, and you should, look at some of these examples that have popped up and see if it's something that you would be interested in learning more about too. So, not a hard sell, right? But it's just more about, hey, like, let me share my experiences. Let me give you some resources of where I've found information or great people I've talked to, and then people can come to their own decisions. But that's what it takes is people learning more information, and then, of course, raising their voice and asking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. In agreement there. And I love that, you have skin in the game, I think, both on many fronts. I mean, you have a business that accepts crypto, you're invested in it, and obviously looking to push policies that will benefit the industry. So very cool. Now, of course, crypto is not the only item you're running on or advocate of. So I'm curious, what other issues and policies are you running on? As I believe, a Republican for the candidate, for the congressional seat.
For Congress.
Yeah, Congress, yes.
Yeah. For me, veterans and military families are something that are near and dear to my heart. I come from a military family. My father's a Vietnam veteran. And so in my district in particular, District 4 in Nevada, we actually have the Nellis Air Force Base, Creech Air Force Base, and the military Hawthorne Military Depot. And so with all of those within the district, veterans actually are our fastest growing population. So, healthcare, the VA, making sure that our vets are taken care of, any way that we can help support, our men and women who are there on the front lines. Like, those are initiatives that are very, very important to me and are very important to my district too.
Awesome. That is, I'm certainly in agreement there. I think our veterans need more support, and obviously to keep the freedoms that we have, there's a lot of sacrifice that's given on their part. So, Lisa, this is great. A lot of insightful information here, and everyone, I will be putting a link to Lisa's website in the description of the video. Definitely check out her website to learn more, and of course her Twitter handle as well. Lisa, great stuff. Thank you for joining us, and of course would love to have you back on in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, and please, if there's any way that I can help support, what you guys are continuing to do, I'm available anytime. Just let me know.
Awesome. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.